Guys, good evening once again. Please accept my apologies. My start is not all that good in the streams. I'm struggling with a little bit of network, but also I've lost a power bank, and yet I'm doing two streams at the same time. It's a very busy schedule where I come short. For now, kindly please forgive me. I will see if tomorrow I'll be making some adjustments. I'm doing two streams at the same time. One on Break and Finish Live YouTube, where you can see Caesar represented with black, yellow and red on the scoreboard. On the left, the Ugandan, and then the Kenyan in Henry Mwangi. In my opinion, the greatest Kenyan, in my opinion, ever to touch a kiss stick is on 1, Caesar on 4, racing to 7 for a place in the semi-finals. Racing to 7. Aiden Joseph is leading by 4 frames to nil against the Tanzanian Saif Ahmad. Also accept my apologies. I was using an informer for the updates of the match between Aiden and Collins, who was giving me the vice versa of the scores. It was Aiden who was winning, and he was telling me that it was City who was winning. So it's official that it is Aiden who won that match. Apologies, especially given the commentary that I was giving in the last streams, updating. Otherwise, Aiden against Saif Ahmad leads by 5 frames to nil. Aiden, I was just having a little chat with him, and he was saying that, I was telling him that you are so poor normally in East Africa. You don't do well in East Africa. In Southern Africa, you normally win whatever you can win. In East Africa, not so much. I told him in Uganda, in Kenya, in Tanzania, results are not as good as Zambia, Zimbabwe, you know, South Africa, and then Eswatini. Then he said, just watch out. This time I'm going to chow them all. That is the word he likes to use. 4-1, the Scorpion leading against King Henry. Also, Uganda's Joseph Kasozi is down by 3 frames to nil against one of Zambia's finest players, Royd Kabwe. Also racing to 7. That match is live on Break and Finish Live Facebook.
No way, man. You're famous, man. Thanks for your work.
Thank you very much.
You watched so many hours of your streams. Excellent.
Passion driven.
Yeah, so good.
When I'm in this place like this, I'm in my mood.
Some quality. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Respect. Are you from Kenya? Uganda.
You say hi to these guys. Hello, bro.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Say hi to these people. Introduce yourself and yes. How
Yeah,
you
my
get to know
name's
this
Amit.
platform?
I'm from the UK, but I live in Tanzania.
All right.
I'm just here looking at this brilliant players here. These brilliant players, Aiden, Caesar. We've seen them on, on my man's brilliant channel on Facebook, Peter.
Break
and now,
and finish.
yeah, now we're alive.
And I really feel humbled to meet you for the first time.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for
yeah. Looking
these
forward
guys.
to the next nice few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for everything, Peter. Great channel.
And thank you for according
Peter Kyobe live.
your time to watch
Respect.
those games, eh?
Yeah, man.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Thanks, bro. I'll see you during the next few days. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Cheers. All right.
Yeah, yes, there's some of it's always very humbling meeting the people who normally watch these videos. I like to say that normally I'm a streamer from Uganda, but the majority, actually, Uganda only contributes to about 10% of the viewership. So every time I get to meet the people who watch these videos, it's always a very humbling experience. They normally meet me, they think they are going to meet a very rich guy who is parking an Audi outside. Then they see this guy with a phone, a tripod, and a microphone, just talking about pool and pool players and what they do on the table and enjoying. And yes, there we are. 6-1, the Ugandan Scorpion in the lead against King Henry, the Kenyan, in this match that could be seeing its last clearance if Caesar can make utilization of these now 5 yellows on the table, 4 of them to go. He's likely not to pot, even though he's Caesar. This time, be patient, please. He's not listening to me. He thinks he can take it down. He has just hit the table a little bit. Maybe he's not contented with the kind of white movement. White hasn't moved as close as possible to the yellows. What can Kid do here? In the end of the day, I just think that the impatience where he ought to have waited before attacking is what is giving Henry now a chance to come within 1 of Caesar. Pot blue to the corner pocket, bottom right, white ball bounces off the cushion, should be played into the black. Oh no. He used too much spin on the white ball. It affects the player's ability to play on target. Sorry, Henry. Caesar will have, however, not be sorry. Henry has a good chance here. By the way, there is space between the yellow Caesar just played and the jaw of that same corner pocket, bottom right, where that yellow ball is. Where, like you can see, he's contemplating a way to have a sharp cut on the same yellow. Play it right against the rail. Play it off. Sorry, the blue off yellow. Oh no, there was space. All of the experience Henry has gotten in the game for the last 20 years is not showing in this match whatsoever. For me, he's the greatest Kenyan ever to play pool. Because for so many years I've been watching him, more than 10, maybe more than 12. He has come to Uganda, my country, every time and again. He has reached 2 tournament finals, big ones of the Pro Session of Uganda, and this is a fouls. And frame number 8 has been played at the poorest level of both players. I was just saying that Henry in 2012 came to Uganda when the team of Kenya had a money match against Uganda's national team, and the Kenyans won, and Henry was part of the winning team and pretty much the best player on the team on the day. He then participated in the Kampala Open Pool Championship of the Pro Session of Uganda that year and came second out of 128 players only to Sula Matovu. He then participated a few years later in a tournament that was called the Lugazi Open. He came second to Luvulo Simon the Computer. He also came to Uganda for the 2016 All-Africa Pool Championships, reaching out in the semi-finals. 2 years earlier, here in Dar es Salaam, he reached the semi-finals of the All-Africa Pool Championships, coming 4th in the comp that was won by South Africa's Ishmael Mtetwa. Henry has just pulled frame back. It is now Caesar 2 and Henry. Sorry, Caesar 6 and Henry 2. Alright, thank you for watching. Emma Texo. and Clean Crypto, and all of you who are now way over 750 watching this action live here, live from Q Masters 3-1. The scoreboard that you are watching on at the bottom left, the top left end of the table is for a match between Royd, the Zambian, and Joseph Kasozi, the Ugandan. And Royd is leading by 3 frames to 1. It is now 6-1. Aiden leading against Saif Hamad. So I know that many of you would like to watch Aiden and Caesar. If I'm not mistaken, they should be meeting at what round? Not so certain. You can look at the fixtures that I shared with you on Break and Finish Live. Actually, I know that one is one of the most anticipated matches on the African continent, if it does happen, between Aiden and Caesar. I'm just trying to find out, trying to look for my fixture list, trying to see if there is a possibility we could have it as early as semi-finals. It looks like no, both of them could win their matches, but maybe we may not be witnessing it as early as semi-finals. Henry Mwangi, last time out that he played out with the Ugandan contingent was, I think he took down Rashid Wagaba Dog City at Timbuktu in Eldoret in Kenya. That comp that was won by Zimbabwe's Eshka Chimbwanda. Aiden has defeated Saif Hamad by 7 frames to 1. Guys, the ghost means business. Saif Hamad is one of the most difficult players to defeat in Tanzania. Here in Tanzania, he has had so many matches against so many of the top players, and so many of them have ended in victory, especially here at his own home turf at Q Masters. Guys, it's not a money match, it is a 16-man competition. It is a preamble, it is a dress rehearsal to a big comp that is starting tomorrow. It is called Q Masters International Pool Carnival, a tournament that has attracted players from 7 countries from the African continent, most especially Tanzania, the host, of course. The biggest contingent is traveling from Kenya, about close to 30 players. Then there are Ugandans, then South Africans, Zambians, Zimbabweans, Malawians. I'm expecting Eswatini and South Sudan, actually 8 countries being represented here. But tomorrow we are starting with team event. I understand it's about 7 Tanzanian teams and then 2 Ugandan teams, 2 Kenyan teams. Should be 1 or 2 Zimbabwean teams, then a Zambian team. So you are going to be watching these players representing their teams tomorrow, not themselves as individuals. And you'll of course be having live streaming throughout the day, and then on Saturday it will be singles, and then Sunday mixture of singles and teams, and then Monday we shall have the last stages of the championship in singles, ladies and men's category. One of the men who will be favorites, most especially for men's singles, is this guy who is missing, one of the would-be easiest blues on the table. Chance for Henry Mwangi to pull another back, and in succession. Sharp cut with big spin, not with power enough, not with precision enough, but with a chance enough for the Scorpion to steal the frame away and to take the match down once and for all. Here comes the Scorpion with one relatively difficult shot, a cushion ride, rail drive of the blue to the corner pocket, bottom left, white ball bouncing off the cushion and moving rightwards, and has to be precise. Precise it is, white ball off 2 cushions, partially snookered, white hidden into the jaw and a little bit behind Henry's yellow, but the blue is partially visible. Also portable to the center pocket on the left, maybe corner pocket bottom left. From this kind of range, Season normally delivers. And a delivery he has not. Henry can breathe again. Kenya can relax again as he's about to win a second frame in a row for the first time in the match. Here is the pride of Mchana representing himself and Kenya and Mchana, and wins a third. Caesar 6 and Henry 3. Thank you for watching. Kibet Isaac, you're asking if Herbert is around. No, he's not around because of his school program. But he will be participating in so many local comps and a few international comps coming up in there, most especially the Grand Mchana. He will be in his holidays. I will make sure that you will be witnessing him in an international comp for the second time in his career, and a few others. Opportunities are still coming, but there are some sacrifices that have to be made when a child of school going age is also having a talent. To promote, Caesar 6, Henry 3, Royd 3, Kasozi 2. Also, in the meantime, the excitement you're hearing from the background is from the great South African giant, both in achievement and body size, Jeremiah Naido, who has taken down fellow South African Pilani Nkosi. It must have been 7 frames to 4, if I'm not mistaken. Actually 7-3. So Jerry in the semis, Aiden into the semis, 2 South Africans in the semis, then one of these players, then either Royd or Kasozi. Both of those matches ongoing respectively here on Break and Finish Live YouTube, as well as Break and Finish Live on Facebook. Someone is asking what happened to Ibrahim Sejemba. I am being informed from home that he is getting a flight tomorrow, means that he can also as well reach tomorrow, and when he reaches he'll be playing in the team event representing the team that he captains, Team Roxbury.